The channel, guys, we are going to be looking at my top 5 Vanguard ETFs that you can consider investing in either long-term or short-term. Guys, welcome to the channel. We are going to kick this video off looking at the Vanguard, ticker symbol VIG. This is the Vanguard Dividend Appreciation ETF. Guys, expense ratio of 0.06%, 30-day SEC yield 1.87%, not the highest dividend of the funds we are going to talk about in this video, but nothing to turn your back on. Let's scroll down real quick here. Let's see. The product summary seeks to track the performance of the S&P U.S. Dividend Growers Index. This is a passively managed ETF. Fund remains fully invested, large cap equity, low expense is minimum net tracking error. Ticker symbol, guys, this is the VIG. This is the Vanguard Dividend Appreciation ETF. Distributions for this fund are on a quarterly basis, not a monthly basis. On to fund number 2. VOO is the ticker symbol. VOO. This is the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. For most people, in my opinion, not financial advice, for most people, if they only invested in something like the VOO over their working career, they would retire with probably more money than they would ever imagine they had. If they just simply bought an index fund, an S&P 500 index fund, which is what Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger both recommend, they would be very, very well off, especially held in a tax-advantaged account like a Roth IRA. Guys, Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, expense ratio 0.03%, very cheap to own this fund, very, very cheap. 30-day SEC yield 1.57%. Invest in stocks in the S&P 500 index, representing 500 of the largest U.S. companies. If you ever wanted to be an owner of a company, here is your chance. You get to be a partial owner of 500 of the largest U.S. companies. Goal is to closely track the index's return, which is considered a gauge of the overall U.S. stock market. Offers high potential for investment return. Share value rises and falls more sharply than that of funds holding bonds. Once again, VOO is our ticker symbol here. Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. Distribution, guys, similar to our last fund. Dividends are distributed on a quarterly basis for the VOO. Heading over to fund number 3. VTI, the Total Stock Market ETF. Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF. Expense ratio 0.03%. SEC yield 1.53%. Currently, checking out a product summary for this fund. Seeks to track the performance of the CRSP US Total Market Index. Large, mid, and small cap equity diversified across growth and value styles. Employs a passively managed index sampling strategy. The fund remains fully invested. Low expenses, minimize net tracking error. Distributions for the VTI also quarterly basis. So your dividends are paid on a quarterly basis. 12, 3, 6, 9, 12 quarterly basis, guys. Heading over to fund number 4. Fund number 4, what do we have here? We have the Vanguard Growth ETF, ticker symbol VUG. Vanguard Growth ETF. Domestic stock general is the asset class. The expense ratio is a tick higher than previous funds at 0.04%. Still very, very, very cheap to own this fund. The SEC yield lower than previous funds, 0.68%. So we are under 1% yield for this fund. Let's see. Product summary for the VUG seeks to track the performance of the CRSP US Large Cap Growth Index. Provides a convenient way to match the performance of many of the nation's largest growth stocks. By owning the VUG, you will be an owner in the nation's largest growth stocks. This fund follows a passively managed approach. Heading down here, let's head to the distributions for this fund. Also a quarterly return here for your dividends. So this fund will pay a dividend on a quarterly basis, not a monthly basis. Once again, this is the Vanguard Growth ETF. Provides a convenient way to match the performance of many of the nation's largest growth stocks. Heading into our final fund, guys, fund number 5, BLV. BLV, this is the Vanguard Long-Term Bond ETF, BLV. Expense ratio, 0.04%, very low cost to own this ETF. The 30-day SEC yield right now, very high, higher than we've seen yields in a long time. 30-day SEC yield, 4.72% for the BLV, 4.72%. Seeks to track the performance of the Bloomberg U.S. Long Government Credit Float Adjusted Index. Also a passively managed fund using index sampling, diversified exposure to long-term investment grade U.S. bond market, guys. Provides high current income with high credit quality. This is the BLV, is the ticker symbol. On the risk scale, we fall right in the middle at a 3. Heading down to the distributions. So this fund, guys, monthly income. Something very cool about owning this fund is, 1, right now, rates are high, so you're going to get a good return. And 2, every month you'll get a dividend. And if we look at the dividends here, if we go back a little bit, let's go back to 10. So we have our payable date is on 10/6. And then the next month, 11/4, another dividend, 12/6, another dividend, 12/29, another dividend, and then 2/6, another dividend. So if you were looking to add or looking for a monthly income ETF, the BLV, the Vanguard Long-Term Bond ETF, is definitely something to consider in your choices of income producing ETFs, stocks, or something like that. Definitely not a bad idea to add this into a diversified portfolio. This is the BLV, the Vanguard Long-Term Bond ETF. Keeping in mind, guys, Rates do vary, so this fund will not always pay a 4.72% 30-day SEC yield. Sometimes it will be higher, sometimes it'll be lower. Something to consider in a diversified portfolio of perhaps some of the funds we talk about in this video. Let's do a quick recap here, guys. Heading back to fund number 1. This will be the VIG. This is the Vanguard Dividend Appreciation ETF, ticker symbol VIG, with a dividend yield 1.87%. Fund number 2, this is the VOO. This is the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF fund. VOO, SEC yield of 1.57%. This is the Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF, ticker symbol VTI, with a 30-day SEC yield of 1.53%. Fund number 4, the Vanguard Growth ETF, VUG, SEC yield of 0.68%. And wrapping it up with fund number 5, our bond fund, our Vanguard Long-Term Bond Fund ETF, BLV is our ticker symbol, and our SEC yield, 4.72%, also pays a monthly distribution, so you'll get your monthly dividend checks where you can either 1, use them as income, 2, reinvest back into the market. All right, guys, if you like this video, hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know your favorite ETF. Maybe it's not a Vanguard ETF, down in the comments. You guys have a great evening. We'll catch you tomorrow on the 24th, Friday, February.